y'all? This is Prime 3285, and I just want to talk about Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is a great game. It came out in January 11th, 2005, in North America. It was a great game, in my opinion. It definitely brought something new to the franchise. It was the first time the game was in third person shoot, like over the shoulder. And it was a great game, it really was. You play as Leon, and you're on a mission to rescue the president's daughter somewhere in Europe. It takes place somewhere in Europe, Resident Evil 4. And you have to find the president's daughter. And during the midst of that, this was the first game that didn't feature zombies. It was about something else. It was about a parasite, the Los Pragos parasite. I don't know if I spelled it properly, forgive me. But it was about a parasite. And it was these people in the village that was affected by this parasite. They had red eyes. They were more advanced than zombies, more stronger, They were more smarter too, And Leon had to survive. He had to fight his way through this village because it was filled with these crazy people, with this parasite. And he came across this big guy known as the Big Cheese. He encountered him a few times. Also, there was a time where Ada Wong saved him. And there's times Ada Wong pop up through this game. And this game is supposed to be a lot of years later after Resident Evil 2. Now, actually, there was a game we all know of named Devil May Cry that was originally going to be Resident Evil 4, but Capcom scratched that, and they actually went on to do the Resident Evil 4 that we know and love. Also, Resident Evil 4 was originally supposed to be about Leon, you battling the paranormal. But they scratched that because they wanted to go with something that's a little more original. But yeah, Devil May Cry was going to be actually Resident Evil 4. But they scratched it, and they made this Resident Evil 4, Capcom. And this was the first game you encountered different enemies such as ogres type, like giant beings. This wasn't about the T-virus or G-virus. This was about a parasite. Ada Wong also appeared in this game. This was a great game in my opinion. Now, I admit, when I first played this game, I had a hard time because it was very hard for me. It had a different feel to the older games. It had a different feel to Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. And I remember I had a hard time. Like, when I first played this game, it was just extremely hard for me. I had a hard time, And it is a great game. I really enjoyed it. The more I played it, the more I grown to love it. It was a great game, a great experience. Plus, this was the first game you had people coming after you with chainsaws. It was crazy. This game was something. It was really dark. It had a great story. Plus, Leon come across an old comrade friend named Jack Krauser, who was working with Sadler. I think that's the name of the boss, the main villain, protagonist in the game. And the atmosphere in this game, they went to a different route, it was different, They ended up bringing something new to the table, with this game. And this game is a great game. It is. Became a phenomenon. It sold a lot. It came out first for the Nintendo GameCube. It came out for the Nintendo GameCube first, and then a little later on, it came out for the PlayStation 2. Yeah, but it was a great game. In my opinion, it was, and I really enjoyed it. I had fun. I had a ball with this game. I admit, this game is definitely one of the hardest Resident Evils I ever played. Still to this day, it's one of the hardest, It really is, but it's fun. It really is fun, It still has that Resident Evil feel to it, from the old games. Plus, this was the first game that had the X button. When you press the button, you could dodge stuff. This was the first game to introduce that. You could tap the A and B button to dodge from certain enemies. these attacks. This is also the second game, if I recall, that featured Mercenaries mode. Now I forgot in my review of Resident Evil 3. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. That was actually the first game, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, that featured Mercenaries mode, and that's what I left out, which is my fault in the last review of Resident Evil 3. But this was probably the second game that had Mercenaries mode too. And you could play as more characters in Resident Evil 4's Mercenary mode. Also, this game was also for the Android, for the phone, Android, for the PC, CD-ROM, and it's also now available for the PlayStation 4. It's remastered. It's digitally remastered. It's for the PlayStation 4, and I think the Xbox One. It's for the Xbox One too. Resident Evil 4. And this game was really great. It was a true horror experience. And it was really great. It was a great game. It's definitely one of my favorite Resident Evils. It's definitely one of my favorite among the newer ones, newer games, This game came out in January 2005, January 4th, 2005. It was a great game. I really enjoyed it, and a lot of people did, and I just want to know what your experience with this game was, your favorite moments, Did you like the game? And, like me, when I first played it, I admit it was hard for me, very hard, It still is, in my opinion, one of the hardest out of the newer games, in my opinion. It's definitely one of the hardest, but it's still fun. It's fun. I think over time I did get better in this game. I learned to feel, I really enjoyed this game. This game is a classic. It had a great ending, had a great story, a lot of twists and turns, and it's something that this game was going to be originally a paranormal. You battle on the paranormal, but they changed that, and this was just a great game. It really was. And it was for the GameCube, and it was for the PlayStation 2, and it's also now for the PS4. This was a great game, It's a great game. I remember I used to love watching my brother play this game. We used to take turns, and it was we was laughing at certain parts, but it was just really cool. It was cool. It was definitely a tough game too, but it was fun. And it brings back memories playing this game. It's a classic. This game also featured regenerators, which they were, in my opinion, one of the most terrifying monsters in Resident Evil history. The regenerators, introduced. So even the last boss was something. He was something else. He was no joke. I think his name was Sadler or something like that. I don't know if his name was Sadler, but yeah, he was no joke. The last boss, yeah. Some people had mixed feels about this game, but to me, I really enjoyed this game. I really did. It was definitely a great game, and it introduced something new and fresh for Resident Evil. Went more further with the story, with a different route, with the story, Yeah. And what I also like about this game is you get to play as Leon. It has classic characters from Resident Evil 2. Exactly, which is Leon Kennedy and Ada Wong. Ada Wong makes an appearance in this game too, Also, they have classic costumes of Leon. They have a costume that you can unlock from Resident Evil 2. His RPD cop suit, from Resident Evil 2. His uniform suit, yeah. Also, it has this game. This game has different weapons you can unlock. The more further you get, you can the first time Resident Evil, just the first Resident Evil that didn't have a barrel room. You know, you didn't go to a room in a barrel. Like, it still had the typewriter, but it was this guy you go to give you weapons, and he be saying, "What can I do for you, stranger? Not enough cash, stranger." He was just funny. He cracked me up, dude. He has like this trench coat on. He looked like one of the people that would attack you, but he seems like a good guy. He has like this coat. He opened up this coat and he has all these weapons and guns and everything. It was just funny. This game was a great game, though. It really is. It's definitely one of my favorites in the Resident Evil franchise. It definitely is. It's really cool. You know. Also, like, this was the first game that featured those giant things, those ogre things. Yeah, which was really cool. It had so many crazy enemies. It had these enemies that had these long, sharp blade claws that attack you. You had to shoot them in the back, but they'd go crazy and start chasing you. Something. It's like they were regular people, but they had like a parasite. They were doing experiments on them or something. I don't know what they were doing, but it was something. They went more further with this game, you know. So it's definitely a masterpiece. It's a great game. I really enjoyed it. And I just want to know what your experience is with this game, you know. It was the first time you played this game. I want to know from my subscribers. I want to know your experiences with this game. Like, was it one of your favorites? Was it like, you know, did you have a hard time with this game, or was it just really easy for you? And, you know, I just want to know. You know, this game brought a lot of new things to the table, a lot of new